All right, we are live. Another day, another stream. The Aussie boys are here. I'm pretty sure you guys would have noticed I didn't play the intro today, so there's a bit of a surprise for that because the people that have been tuning in on this particular show for the past couple of weeks that we've been sort of doing the one show here and there will know that this group here, we are starting a new show called the Down Under Football Crew. As you can see the logo just on top. There's going to be a whole heap of different artwork that's going to be shown very soon. There's going to be a new intro. So, yeah, this is going to be a show that's going to be a regularity come the upcoming season. So today will be the final sort of segment of us sort of building it up. And then the next time you see us three, it will be the first show of this particular event that we've created, I suppose. And today we're gonna at one point we're gonna share the intro. So that's why there's been no intro today. So don't get too worried. Why hasn't there been an intro? My normal intro. So don't get worried. We have a special intro just for this particular show. Look, ladies and gentlemen, we've already got quite a lot of people tuning in, 31 live straight away. Let's get those likes up to 30 as we are coming through. Target, let's go with a particular target. Let's try and hit 100 likes as soon as more people come in. As you guys all know, the more likes, it gets spread to more people. And also, if you're here for the first time, subscribe and check out the boys and their socials in the description, especially their YouTube channel. It's a football thing. As you guys know, they've done a madness with Fabrizio Romano not that long ago. So check that video out as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about a whole heap of big transfer stories today, not just the Chelsea related ones, many other ones. There's a couple of, there's one Arsenal related, there's Man City, there's a Leicester one, there's a Man United one. There's a lot of transfer stories that we're going to talk about today, which is going to be very, very exciting. But before we do all of that, my man, RJ, how you doing?
Well, it's great to be back with you fine gentlemen, and great to see the live chat already kicking off and declared Aussie. Yes, indeed. So proud of our Australians who just won in the Matildas versus Great Britain after extra time. So credit to Sam Kerr, proud Chelsea representative of the Australian contingent. I'm doing very well, thank you. Still on an incredible high after talking to Mr. Here We Go, Fabrizio, with Scott the other night. So like you said, haven't had a chance, give it a check out later on. But yeah, just happy to be back and do a madness with you boys. So yeah, thanks for bringing us back on, Miz.
Do you know what, RJ? While I go to Scott, Scott doesn't need any introduction. You guys all know who Scott is. But while I go to Scott, do you want to perhaps take that link of Fabrizio's show and drop it into the live chat right now? We've got over 50 people already live. So guys, let's get those likes up to 50 straight away. Target is 100. Scott, my man, how you doing?
I'm good, RJ. You took on my talking points, man. I wanted to acknowledge our Matildas. Smashed it. Sammy Kerr, the only time you'll hear me praising Chelsea. Big ups to her. She smashed it. Of course, living that buzz from Fabrizio Romano, but obviously, while you guys are waiting for some Haaland news, I'm still waiting for us to announce Ben White. So, yeah, slowly, surely, but we're in lockdown, boys. We're pretty chilled. You know, we haven't been running around. Let's make the most out of this. I've been buzzing for this.
Yeah, man, there's levels to this particular game, isn't it? We're talking about Haaland, and you guys are waiting for Ben White announcement. I mean, this is what it is. This is what it's come down to, hasn't it?
The version of Christensen.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to try not to banter the live chat too much tonight.
You better be careful, man. There's a lot of Chelsea fans here. But look, guys, give Scott a lot of love because we're going to talk about many things. It's not going to be, this particular show won't necessarily be about Chelsea all the time. But obviously today's transfer news, as you can see, Drew here saying Haaland news. We will talk about the Haaland news. We 100% will. But there's a whole heap of other stories that are circulating as well. So we'll talk about that too. All right, let's get straight into it. Let's not have people wait too much longer. First of all, the big money ticket. we have to talk about Erling Haaland. There's a lot of things that's been happening over the last 24 hours. I was going to play a few clips of Jan Age Foytov from ESPN, but then I thought, nah, you know what, that's fine. There's a lot of tweets that's been flying around. So I want to share the first tweet, and then we'll take it from there. Live chat, let us know what your thoughts are as well. You've been on this particular transfer saga on my channel on a regular basis as well. And you know where it stands. But there's been more sort of drama, more spice that's been added to it today. And I'm sure there's going to be more spice added to it as the days go on. But the latest that's come out is Jan Age Foytov was in ESPN again. And this is what he said. This is one of the snippets, probably one of the most important snippet, which says, I expect Erling Haaland's future to be sorted in the next 7 to 10 days. A madman, as Dortmund's advisor says, needs to put up 175 million euros for him. Team Haaland will not push for a move, but I think he will be perfect for Chelsea this summer. This is what Jan Age Foytov said. And then just a moment ago, literally probably 40 minutes ago or something like that, 8:42, yeah, just a tad over an hour ago, BVB Buzz. This is a big sort of Dortmund-related Twitter page, quite big in terms of Dortmund news. They've just tweeted out saying Michael Zorc on whether they can turn down 175 million for Erling Haaland. A, this offer doesn't exist and is not expected to arrive. And B, we are a football club that is focused on achieving sporting success. Every shareholder knows that's our mission. And then I think there was a subsequent tweet as well, yeah. Then he goes on to say, besides, when these figures were circulating in the media, some of the protagonists were probably still dreaming of the Super League. That is hot air. We don't need to sell early. I mean, Ajay, I'll go to you first up, my man. You've got one side where Jan Age Foytov is completely Team Haaland. He's working for them. He's trying to build that up as much as he can. And then you've got the Dortmund officials and Michael Zorc. I'm pretty sure he's their sporting director or someone big over there, I'm pretty sure, coming out. And this is the second time that he said, no, this is not happening. He's not entertaining it. But then there were other sort of Dortmund-related officials that were saying that a mad offer will have to come in, somewhere around the region of 175 to 200 million euros. I mean, what's your thoughts? Because we had Lukaku not that long ago, I think just over 24, 48 hours ago. I don't know whether it's true or not, RJ, but saying that he's not interested. He's happy at Inter Milan. You're an Inter supporter, so you may know a little bit more about that. But where are you sitting in this whole situation, my man?
Yeah, for me, obviously, it's controversially perhaps, but it's starting getting a little bit old in the sense that every day we wake up, the recycled news and speculation about Haaland. And I almost kind of feel like we should draw a line. We either get him or we don't, and we can all move on. And if the decision is we don't get him, we focus our energies elsewhere because there are other talents around. But don't get it twisted. He is the number one target. He's going to command the third highest record fee in history. So naturally, it's going to be a complex sort of deal. It's not as straightforward as offering 150 or 175 million euros, whatever it is. Interesting statement from Dortmund, but unsurprising in many respects, given they're not going to necessarily say we're a selling club and we look to offload our best assets to clubs because we're inferior to the top tier clubs. So, they're just playing the game. They're trying to drive up a better price. But I think if Chelsea were to feel confident in going with a formal bid of 150 plus, my money, if I had any of it, would be that we would land him. I have to say, because I'm confident that Dortmund would use that money to be able to offset some of the loss from Sancho and himself and still qualify for Champions League, because that's where a lot of the prize money comes from. So it's just from their perspective, is losing two superstars going to be too big of a bridge to gap? I don't think so, because they are guaranteed to lose at least then 70-odd million because of his release clause next season. So it's a lot of money to just be throwing out the window because you're concerned about not making Champions League. So yes, I do think if we do go in there with that offer, we will get him because it's too good to refuse, as we like to say in my culture. But the Lukaku thing, I'm not so sure that that's entirely accurate, that he would have rejected it because he has a better home at Inter Milan. Like, that just doesn't sound right to me, given the narrative that he does have unfinished business and he does have a good relationship with the club.
Those publications, by the way, RJ, La Gazzetta and Corriere della something, I can't remember which publication it was. There was two publications. I mean, you would know. Are they quite reliable, like La Gazzetta and the other one, that Corriere della something?
Well, yeah, they're very good at producing mainstream talk, and they have a hit-miss rate, but I'm not saying that he hasn't tried to dig in his heels and said that he's happy at Inter because he's being politically correct. But I dare say if the offer is good enough, the club he would want to return to is Chelsea, because he does genuinely have unfinished business there. He's at the peak of his career. He would be going to a world-class manager in a team that's on the up. So to me, if we think that we're not going to be able to budge Dortmund, I wouldn't close the door on the Lukaku. That's just my personal gut feel on that.
Nah, fairs, man, fairs. Scott, from someone looking from the outside, I want to throw a bit of a scenario for you. Declared, another Aussie superstar in our live chat, has come up with a bit of a conspiracy theory, and I think it may be right. Declared shared something with me when I had the fans call in a few days ago, and he said, Miz, I'm pretty certain maybe the deal's already done, but they're keeping it very hush because Dortmund's got to do their business and they don't want the people that they're purchasing from to know that they have all of this money and all the players that they're going for will be jacked up. I believe they got Daniel Haaland for about 30 million euros, so quite an okay-ish price. They're looking for more players. They don't want any of those particular prices to be jacked up. I mean, what's your thoughts? Is it going to be that secretive? Or, I mean, and then now Jan Age Voitov is coming out and saying 7 to 10 days. Like, I feel like that's a bit of a deadline.
To me, Miz, and I can say this because Declared's a friend of mine as well. I like Declared, but I'm declaring that he's off the money there. To me, Haaland will play in a Chelsea jersey, but not this season. I think once that contract runs down, you'll get him. But I think if you were going to throw, and this is just my opinion, I'm no in the know, but if you were going to throw 150 million at Dortmund, I think you would have done it by now and they would have accepted it. 150 million is a lot of money for a player that you're resigned to losing next season. I actually don't think that, I mean, there's no word that bid's been officially made. It came out today, and Dortmund came out and said the deal doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. The story, there is no story on our end at Dortmund because he will play for us this season. Now, whether that's them playing hardball, perhaps everyone knows Chelsea have money. But yeah, I think if this one was going to happen, it would have happened by now. I don't see it happening this season, as much as you guys would like it to. But on the Lukaku, I think he's a good shout as well. I think he'd be absolutely world-class for you guys if he came back. I feel he's better equipped to come and dominate the Premier League now.
Yeah. Just quickly, I just wanted to add a comment on you saying if we don't make it, it's sort of a now or never for this window. And that's something Fab said the other night on our channel as well, that Dortmund won't want to be put in a position where they're having to make last-minute, replacement purchases. So, yeah, I do have that feeling as well. The next 5 to 7 days is crunch time for us and for them as well. So, yeah, it's definitely a watch this space.
But there's some good comments in your live chat at the moment, Miz. There's some people saying that it's Daniel McBride, I think, that there's going to be a lot of other clubs in contention. At the moment, we know with COVID that the financial situation of a lot of Europe's top clubs is not great. Potentially with another year to recover as Europe seems to be getting better at dealing with the virus, you do wonder if Chelsea then would face some more stiff competition once COVID eased a bit over there and other clubs are more cashed up. But there's something about it. I actually feel like Haaland wants to come and play for Chelsea. I don't think it's if, I think it's when. But again, I'm just an Arsenal fan, and I would hate to see him there because he will dominate the Premier League for many
years. This is my take. I think you're right in the sense, Scott, that Haaland looks at the Chelsea team and he's actually very, very excited. The kind of caliber of players that we have, we're the European champions, and we could perhaps with him do a lot more damage as well moving forward with all the different competitions that we're lined up for, especially this season. Super Cup just around the corner, which he probably wouldn't make it anyway, but Club World Cup, domestic cups, Champions League again, and obviously the big one, Premier League. So he probably fancies that he could possibly have all of these silverware all around him this coming season, which he most likely wouldn't have with Dortmund. Let's face it, Bayern Munich, even their B team will run away and win the particular league over there. So, and Jan Alge Foytoft, he's very close to the Haaland camp, and he said that Haaland likes the Chelsea outlook. He can see himself playing there. And he's said that many a time. So you're right. I 100% have to believe that he would fancy himself playing for Chelsea. But I'm on the stance that I think Chelsea will still get him this season because we're in a situation, as both of you boys have mentioned, that this is the perfect time to get him because next season, with a release clause of 75 million euros, that is, there'll be every man and dog lined up to try and get him. And, you know, there could be clubs that could offer more wages. I mean, we could possibly match any other clubs out there, but it'll be literally a bidding sort of war in terms of wages, in terms of, other influences. I don't know. But right now, there is only one club that's in the race, and that's Chelsea, because no other football club out there wants to buy him for 150 million or even more than that. There is only Chelsea that wants to do this. So I like that situation because I'd rather not be competing with all of these people and just jump in. Go on, RJ.
Yeah, and that's my concern, though, because from Chelsea's point of view, this is how we like it. No competition's good competition in that sense, but from Haaland team, his camp, he wants to drag this out because he wants a bidding war. Bidding war means more wages next season, more agents' fees. So, on one hand, coming to Chelsea could raise his profile, maybe win a Premier League and become even more marketable. But next season, if all the other clubs pick up and get into the game, financially speaking, it could be, an all-out bidding war. So it just depends what's his primary motivation. If it's just financial gain, he'll wait it out. But if he's got a medium long-term view in mind and becomes a superstar in the Premier League, by the time he hits his peak age, because let's not forget, he's only very young, in another 3 or 4 years, 150 million is going to sound like a very reasonable price for someone like him based on his trajectory. So, it all depends on what he thinks and what he really wants.
Absolutely. I mean, look, that's enough about Haaland. We could talk all day long, but this is where it stands. Let's move on to another breaking.
You're a cheeky bugger, man. You are a cheeky bugger, man.
Let's move on to another huge transfer news here. I knew Scott would love this. Fabrizio Romano just tweeted not that long ago, literally 50 minutes ago or so, saying that there's absolutely nothing advanced agreed between Willian and Al Ahly, not even contacts or talks. Willian is still thinking about leaving Arsenal in the next days, work in progress, but not with Al Ahly. I mean, I'll go to you, Scott, man. How much do you guys hate this guy, man? Tell me how much do you guys hate this guy?
RJ knows I'm pretty balanced. I don't hate Willian. I hate the wages that we gave him. I hate the contract he's on. He's just frustrating because I did see, I was told when he came from Chelsea, RJ would say to me, you'll get one good game maybe in every 6 or 7. You'll get one really good game.
RJ was being kind.
But that ratio is really blown out. We got one or two in the season. One was the first game. One was right at the end. So, look, I think it's in the best interest of him and us financially that he just goes. And if he can get similar money over there in the Middle East, I'm hoping he goes. My comment somewhere under there saying, "Put us out of our misery. Give me hope."
Oh, did you? This is interesting. Oh, there we
go. Give me some. I just want some hope.
Hey, I tell you what. Of all the great victories and goals over the years, that's probably one of my favourite wins we've scored over Arsenal. That kind of transfer deal. So thank you very much for that.
You always get the better of us. But look, one thing Arsenal need to do while we're on them, we need to clear some of the dead wood. And Willian got a good run with Arteta, but he just didn't perform. He's got to go. I'd rather a youngster who's on a quarter of the wage. There's talks now that we're going to offer Xhaka a new deal.
Wow. I can't believe that turnaround. Are you happy with that?
I want to pay. Look, if he brings the form that he showed in the Euros back, sure, I am happy. But as someone pointed out to me on Twitter when I commented with that, his heart's in that Switzerland team. I don't think his heart's in the Arsenal team. Someone I would like to come in is Tammy Abraham. I know there's talks about Martinez, but I'll be happy with Tammy Abraham coming in if you want to send us a good player for once.
You know what, ladies and gentlemen, just a little maybe inside news. I don't know how much of it is true, but someone who's connected with Chelsea has sort of let me know this via DMs earlier today, actually. And apparently this particular person somehow got to know, the real estate agent that's actually looking after Tammy Abraham. And there's some rumors that Tammy's apparently looking for houses around the North London area. So, and that's been the case for a little while because he knows that he needs to leave the club. So I don't know.
He'd be the best player that we've got from Chelsea in a long time.
But are you saying, Scott? Are you saying though? Because I know we spoke about this recently, and I think we might have even been this chat or another one. But how does he become a starter given Aubameyang's situation? Are you saying that Lacaz's on the way out, or?
I think he comes because Lacazette's got a year in his contract. It's not looking like he's going to stay. So I think he comes in to compete with Aubameyang. We've got a couple of talented youngsters there. We've got Eddie Nketiah, who didn't have a great season last year, but
I think Emil Smith-Rowe will like the fact that someone like Tammy is up front who can feed it too. The thing is, hopefully Tammy he does. If you put it on the sort of feed to him, he can
just
finish
don't cross
things
to
off.
his head.
Yeah, just don't cross it. He's not the greatest header out there.
Yeah, and he's still a raw player. I mean, we are not in the position where we can go chasing players that are the finished product straight away. Yeah, like we aren't bidding 150 million for anybody at the moment in our situation. So if we need to take some punts on players that are raw, we just have to have faith that, the system can bring out the best in them. So I'm very realistic. I know where we're at. And I think someone like Tammy coming in, he did score goals for Chelsea.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
He did. I can't lie.
In half tournaments. Yeah. But I heard as well that I was reading in a report that, the Chelsea camp apparently are becoming a little bit more tolerant of accepting a lesser than market value for Tammy. So from around a 40 mil, they'd accept maybe a $5 million drop or whatever. So if Arsenal can jag him for 35 mil, given his age, the English factor, it could actually be a good deal for them, which pains me to say that.
Actually, similar sort of feel for me as well. But look, he's not favoured at Chelsea. He needs to go. And if he finds himself a home at Arsenal, I wish him all the best, to be honest. Just when he plays against us, I hope he doesn't do anything. That will absolutely hurt me. That would really, really hurt me. I just hope that, maybe we can even put it on the contract. You just can't play against Chelsea. I don't know if that can be snuck in. I'm only kidding. Obviously, that can't. Looks like Scott's very excited about the whole Tammy prospect. As I said, Scott, someone in the live chat, as you can see, PYS, here's the little birdie that kind of told me that maybe Tammy's looking for a property around the North London area. So look out for that. Let's see what happens in regards to that particular rumor. Before we talk about Kounde next up, I want to touch on this Grealish thing, which is very, very hot, and gives us an opportunity to talk about Manchester City, and they're kind of we're so in deep with the whole Haaland thing. Obviously, us being Chelsea fans, of course, and obviously Scott will be so interested about what Arsenal's doing. We're forgetting the madness that City is going around bidding for Kane and bidding for Grealish, and they're looking to really bolster for next season. If they can land both Kane and Grealish, wow, that will be something to really think about. But this particular news from Fabrizio Romano, let's have a read. Manchester City are in direct talks with Aston Villa since yesterday. Bid on the table and negotiations ongoing with Man City now pushing. Fair to remember that Aston Villa are offering Jack a new top deal. Tottenham are still reluctant to sell Harry Kane. So these guys they're after these two very, very badly. Let's go to you, RJ, first of all. My thought about the whole Aston Villa thing, because Aston Villa is doing their own madness as well. I think they got Buendia. They're trying to get a few other players as well. They were after Emile Smith-Rowe. Like, I couldn't believe that. Like, I'm like, wow, that's showing, bullying Arsenal into one of the bullying Arsenal into their one of their young superstars. But I think they're looking to add a few more players as well. They're in for the shout for Tammy Abraham as well. It makes me think, RJ, that they are counting on the Grealish money because, I don't know, some people are saying that their owner is a very rich owner. I didn't know that. Apparently the third or the fourth richest owner in the Premier League. I had no idea. Maybe live chat, you guys can help us out. Is Aston Villa's owner like a rich owner or something like that? Anyway, the bottom line, RJ, is my gut feeling was that they are they're doing all this madness because they're thinking they're going to get the money from Grealish. I mean, what's your thoughts? Is this particular deal happening? And if it does happen, where does it put Man City? Because this is a superstar player.
Absolutely. And it's funny you're bringing up the main man Fab, because the other night we were asking him about, Harry Kane, City, the only club that realistically has a chance for his signature. And Fabrizio made it very clear that not only was Kane the target, but Grealish as well was a top target. So the fact that they're now accelerating this means that they are, in my humble opinion, very serious about making this deal go ahead, probably even more so than Kane, to be honest, because they probably feel like this is a bit, not easier to negotiate, but probably more constructive than working with Tottenham. Sorry for any Tottenham fans that are on the call. But look, for me, what does this mean? It means it's a bit of a problem for the rest of us chasing pack. And I know those on the call will say, well, if we get Haaland, it puts us back into contention. And yes, I agree with that. But at the end of the day, let's not mistake that Jack is actually a very top player. He brings a lot of creative flair. He draws a lot of fouls. He gives them a different type of profile. He scores goals, but the fact that he's someone there that he brings a lot of attention to him and creates space for other players around him to weave their magic. So, and City have shown very well last season and before that they don't necessarily need to have a typical number 9 leading the line. So having someone like Grealish there is a bit of a scary prospect to ponder. But from Aston Villa's perspective, yeah, it's quite interesting because they're building a pretty formidable team. I'm not saying they're going to go win the Premier League, but what I would say is that their trajectory is on the up and possibly they are counting on that Grealish money, but I'd equally say that they might be counting on that Grealish being in the squad to act as a bit of a draw card to any other good players wanting to join because, he's one of the best players in the Premier League.
100%, man. 100% believe that. Scott, what's your thoughts on the whole Grealish to City? I mean, Arsenal... Speak from an Arsenal perspective, because I really want to know this, because you guys will try your best to crawl back into the top 6 conversation. I don't know whether top 4, even you said it last time around, that maybe is a bit far-fetched at the moment, but top 6 conversation. But when you see teams like Man City going out and getting the likes of Grealish and still being linked with Harry Kane, I mean, how you feeling, my man?
Mate, look, I'm like I always say, I try to have a realistic view of where we're at and where we should be. Top 4 this season, I don't think is a reality. I would love to eat my words. I think Chelsea's squad is too good, even though we did the double over you last season. I think your squad is still too good over the longevity of the season. I think Man City, without Grealish and Kane, are too far ahead. United have made some really good signings, but when I see that, Grealish is someone who will enhance any team and enhance the attack. And Man City are already dangerous. Now, losing Sergio Aguero, they lose a lot of experience there. They lose someone who can bang in goals. If they can get Grealish and Harry Kane, they're going to be very hard to catch.
Yeah.
Put those guys under the tutelage of Pep Guardiola. That's crazy. And also, then you have to think about the flow-on effect. They can't sign Grealish and Kane without letting players go. So I do wonder for guys like Sterling or Mahrez.
Do you reckon they might be up for grabs for other teams to take, I suppose, in the Premier League?
And I would hope that potentially with Arteta and his Man City links, that any of their kind of players that they're letting go.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Why didn't you just say it, Scott? Sterling to Arsenal. Why didn't you just announce it right now?
you heard it here first.
There you go, boys. Scott's doing his own madness. He's hoping that this all happens. As PYS just said, this deal will have a knock-on effect. Expect 1 or 2 more big deals from rivals. Chelsea and Liverpool will do business, I reckon. I mean, you know what, RJ, I want to hear what you have to say about this, because this is a very interesting point. If Harry Kane and Grealish do end up going to City by the end of August, because that is the deadline date, there are question marks on Sterling and possibly Bernardo Silva. Those are the 2 players that have been sort of touted around that they're possibly going to go. I mean, they're still decent players, man. Like Bernardo Silva probably will get in any team, I'd say, in the Premier League. I mean, from a Chelsea perspective, I want to ask you, would you fancy any of these players if they're going on a cheap? Because I'm assuming they will probably be going on a cheap because Man City would be looking to offload them.
They are quality players. They're proven. They've got a lot of pedigree, won plenty of things. But I think based on the way that we like to play our game and just the profile of the squad, I'm not quite sure that that's the kind of, not stopgap solution we'd be looking for, but I'm actually quite comfortable with where we are at in those positions that they're offering, to be honest. If you told me it was a in-form number 9 or an in-form centre mid position, I've got to say, then yeah, I'd be on the up. But, you know, we're quite stacked on those wider areas, and you could make a case maybe for Bernardo Silva coming in and dropping into a traditional number 10 sort of area. But look, not really. I've got to be honest. I know I've got a lot of Chelsea bias, and I know if you say, well, if you can get them really cheap, then it represents good business. But I think to me, what represents good business is buying players that you need that suitably suit the system and that really the manager wants. You don't just want to buy what's good value for money, because I think we've got enough quality around where even though Tuchel doesn't have his team per se because he inherited it mid-season, we've got enough quality across the board that are good enough but might not even be his number 1 preference. So, not for me. Thanks, but no thanks.
Nah, fair point, man. But possibly not for me as well. The only player that I would I would really entertain is probably Riyad Mahrez. Once again, I'm probably, I don't know, I'm a bit of a sucker for these sort of flair players like your Ziyech's and Mahrez. They just have this, I love the way they play their football. You know what I mean? Like it's just so, it's juicy. It's sexy.
It's exciting,
football,
isn't it?
Yeah,
it is
it's sexy football. That's why I like it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about many other players on this particular stream. So just hold tight. This is only going to get better and better. 257 of you guys live right now. First of all, smash the like button and get it to 200 straight away. The boys are here. We are going to bring Down Under Football Crew show right here. The official start of this particular show will be next week. We'll announce the date, closer to the particular day, but it will be. I think RJ, what was the date again for the show? Roughly around 9th, 10th, or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
roughly around that time. So that will be the official show, the start of it. We're going to do a madness. There's going to be guests. There's going to be players. There's going to be. You guys are just going to love it, honestly. And maybe at times, maybe even bring one of you guys and give you guys the opportunity to join us. So do look out for this show. As you can see, the logo, the Down Under Football Crew. Now that I've got a lot of, we've got a lot of you guys here, I think it's perfect time. For all the people that didn't join in when we started the stream, you would have noticed I didn't play an intro today. Generally, I'll have my intro. But as I said, this is a particular show that us three are doing together. It's called the Down Under Football Crew. It's a new segment that's going to start very soon on this particular channel. We're just doing the build-up. Right now, we're going to take the opportunity to show you guys something very exclusive, which will be the intro for this particular show. So are you guys ready for it? Give me a hell yeah. I want to see comments saying hell yeah. And I'm going to play the intro very soon. Let's get those likes up to over 100 straight away. We've got 75, so 25 likes away from 100. We've got 261 live. So let's get those likes up and we will start the intro video. Let us know what your thoughts are on the intro video. We think it's pretty fly, but yeah, here we go. I'm going to play the intro right now. Let me just read this. Declared. Let me see what declared's saying. Hold on. Yeah, okay. All right, let's play the intro video now. All right. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of that particular video, ladies and gentlemen? Let me know what your thoughts are in the live chat. Would love to see what you guys think. So that's the video that's ready to go. There's a bit more artwork that's going to come on this particular channel. As you can see, the logo is already there. We us three boys. Obviously us living in Australia. We're gonna try and bring not just Premier League news, but any sort of big ticket footballing news that's going around. We're gonna try and bring it, and we're gonna try and have a whole heap of different players and different personalities all over the world, to be honest, and from many different fan base. So you guys are gonna really, really love this particular show. So we'll drop the intro music again down the track. Let's get back onto this particular show. Guys, let's get those likes up. We've still got over 240 people. All right, let's bring the next piece of news up. Okay, the next one is Kounde, Jules Kounde. So Fabrizio Romano is the one who broke this particular news, and this is very hot at the moment. I believe Simon Phillips. Let me just quickly bring out the Simon Phillips one, because that was talking about the news from the Athletic. Simon Phillips from the Athletic quoted, here we go. Chelsea want to sign Jules Kounde no matter what. They've wanted him for the past 2 years. Kurt Zouma is the player that is being looked at to go the other way, but Chelsea are going to try and find a way to get this done regardless. There's some issues with the whole Kurt Zouma thing because apparently Sevilla, they just want the cash. They don't want the player and cash, because it kind of it skews their whole price tag. They feel that they deserve to get, I think Jules Kounde has a release clause of 80 million euros. So they feel like that's what they want. They don't want Zouma to be thrown in, because we've put in an offer, I believe, Zouma plus 30 million euros or something like that. But, Sevilla are looking for, Zouma plus 35 million pounds, not euros, 35 million pounds. So they're looking for a lot more. And to be honest, they're actually just looking for cash. They're not even looking for Zuma. And on top of that, Zuma's now been rumored to say that he's not really interested to leave London. And that's why there's all these rumors coming out around West Ham being interested. And apparently West Ham is looking to put a bid for about £20 million, which I feel is a bit of a disrespect for a player like Zuma. But let's have a quick look at what Fabrizio Romano said about this particular deal as well. As I said, he's the one who officially broke this particular news literally a couple of days ago. The bottom line with this deal is, looks like it's going to happen regardless. It will happen. Chelsea are going to make this happen. The Athletic is saying that as well. Whether Zuma goes or not, that's the key story right now. Talks ongoing between Chelsea and Sevilla for Jules Kounde, but Sevilla want more than 30 to 35 million euros if Kurt Zuma will be confirmed as part of the deal. Kounde agreed personal terms with Chelsea 2 days ago. He's buzzing. That's the thing. Kounde is buzzing. Kounde is absolutely buzzing to join Chelsea. No chance for Marquinhos. RJ, thoughts on Jules Kounde?
He's an exciting young prospect, 22, got experience, Spain, France. We are a possession-based team. There's no secrets about that. Despite people thinking we're more conservative because of the threat back, as you rightfully said on the byline earlier, and I know that Ryan's a great tactician of your show. The reality is someone like Kounde, he's someone that's going to help really kickstart play from the back. I do believe that. I do think he has a lot of versatility. Yeah. He's obviously the right-sided RCB, can play as a right back, play as centre back. Obviously the height, there's an inferiority there, but based on his strengths being that, smart positioning, that really sharp touch, the way he can release a ball and really build up the play, but have that positional awareness, I think there's a lot to like about him. And again, being a 22 with that experience and that those signs of intelligence that think that this player is going to be the real deal. I suppose the one bit of, not criticism, it's not even a criticism, it's really just more of a concern or a what-if moment. What if the hype doesn't become real once you translate over to the Premier League? Because we know that not all leagues are made equal, and we know that the Premier League, relative to Serie A, relative to La Liga, France, it is more physical, it is more intense. So what does that mean? It's a lot of money, in my view, which is not my money, it's the club's money, they can do whatever they want. But to get rid of a World Cup winner, someone that's been part of a winning setup, plus 35 mil, it is a lot of money on someone, especially because we did get rid of an academy product that had a similar sort of build and profile, but doesn't have the same experience. Look, more positive than negative if it goes ahead, which it looks increasingly likely. But there's something that doesn't sit right with me that we're offering that plus Kurt Zuma. And I know PYS made the comment before that he's holding up the show because he wants to stay in London, and West Ham offered that pretty disrespectful 20 million. That is that's textbook definition of lowballing. And to be honest, I probably wouldn't want to even do much business with them after that because it's a bit of a kick in the teeth. But look, if it goes ahead, I'm very pleased with it. If it goes ahead on those conditions, I'm probably, if I was the accountant of the club, I'd think that it seems like we've paid a little bit overs. But if Tuchel doesn't want, we need to, as a club, we've done this before. If he doesn't fancy him, regardless if we like him and his profile and he does bring an aerial threat and the guy does a killer last man slide tackle, as we saw against Palace, which was pivotal to get us top 4, and we know what happened after that. If he doesn't like him because he doesn't fancy his ball playing abilities, positioning, then we've got to back the manager and take the L in the sense of not getting the value for him. So, look, it's not the greatest losing Zuma, but if he doesn't be fancied by Tuchel and we can get Kounde in, sign me up.
Yeah, man, that's exactly my thought as well, man. I mean, we have to respect the fact that Thomas Tuchel does not fancy Zuma because of the style that we want to play. We want to play out from the back. We want to be a little bit more aggressive. We want to be a little bit more enterprising as well from some of our CBs, the right-sided CB or left-sided CB. We've seen Rudiger at times drive the ball forward. That's exactly the kind of impetus that we want to see on the right side. And someone like Jules Kounde, as I said, this particular rumor is not new. This was actually happening for quite a long time ago. And I started watching some of his clips, some of his matches, and he's very comfortable on the ball. He's got one of the best dribbling percentages in La Liga and deemed as one of the best defenders in La Liga as well. Real Madrid were after this particular player. The height factor, RJ, yeah, there is a bit of a thing, but apparently he's the same height as Azpilicueta, and he's someone who's been quoted to say that it's all about the leap. He's not worried about the height. It's all about the leap. It's about the positioning, and he can sort of match that. Obviously, Premier League is a different beast, and it's going to take a bit of time for him to adapt. But as you said, RJ, if Thomas Tuchel fancies this type of a stylistic player, then we need to give him that. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, if there's no room for Zuma, Scott. Once again, looking from the outside, from an Arsenal perspective, or just from a footballing perspective as well. I mean, this particular player coming in for Chelsea, the kind of football that we play, you've seen, does it fit a lot better than Kurt Zuma, I suppose?
Look, I think RJ made a really good point about losing Zuma's experience. I'm a big believer in the fact that you need a really good balance of youth and seasoned veterans in your dressing room. But look, he's not someone that I know a whole heap about. But again, just to echo RJ's points, you guys have absolutely no reason not to trust in Thomas Tuchel. If that's who he wants and that's who he thinks can help take you to the next level, make it happen. It's not a price that should scare Chelsea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think if you could do that and keep someone like Zuma around your dressing room, great. But it depends on whether Zuma's happy to be completely out of the team.
Yeah,
he could potentially end up somewhere like Spurs maybe, or you don't know if he wants to stay in London.
Yeah, look, I don't think Zuma probably would be happy. At the moment, he doesn't get any game time. Imagine someone like Kounde comes in, he's going to be in the even further down. So we got to cash in on him and get some money out of that. PYS saying, I don't think it will take long to adapt. Watching the Spanish league due to Hazard, that league is so physical. Yeah, man, look, maybe sometimes we do downplay other leagues and then think that maybe they're not physical. But I still think there will be some time to adapt. There is that human element that going away from somewhere different, where you've been used to in La Liga, coming into someone like London, you just got to get used to it. But then he's going to have his, the French-speaking sort of players like your Thiago Silva, and then obviously his countryman Kante to possibly help him out. And then also Mendy can speak French. So you got all of these players that can possibly help him out to adapt quicker. So it's interesting. As I said, he's going to give a lot more impetus on the right side. He's actually going to be aggressive enough to progress the ball and drive through the middle and then create chaos from a RCB point of view. The evolution that I want to see next season is not only you've got the wing backs, but then you start having the RCB and the LCB starting to overlap as well against the low blocks. We've seen a few times where Aspie has done that. The goal against Burnley, RJ, if you remember, how Aspie overlaps the right wing back and then scored that goal. That's exactly what you probably want to see against a low block, where there's all these different permutations that's happening, and someone like Kounde probably could provide that. All right, let's look at something different, another different club, because I feel like this club is another one that's doing some very, very smart business, and I don't know whether this is completely going to happen or not, but Leicester, obviously, they got themselves Daka, Patson Daka. There's rumours about Maddison, and I want to ask Scott this. Rumours about James Maddison going to Arsenal. I've been following this particular transfer story a little bit, Scott. I feel like James Maddison kind of entertains this a little bit as well. Whether this happens or not, I don't know, because Leicester's pretty much said he's not up for sale. It's really now up to Arsenal to put in a huge, huge probably offer, because once again, James Maddison, that English tax that we talk about. But I kind of get the feeling he wants to move to Arsenal. I mean, I don't understand why he'd want to leave a club that's probably on the up. They've just won the FA Cup. Arsenal, let's be honest, you probably agree with this as well. They're not at the moment, where they need to be. Perhaps maybe in the upcoming season we could see some progress, but there's still a big question mark. I mean, what's your thoughts about James Maddison? Is there any legs to that?
Listen, I mean, for Maddison, there's no doubt that Arsenal are a big club. Regardless of where we finished the last couple of seasons, we're still a very attractive club for players, right? Imagine being Maddison and coming back in, and like Brent's saying in the live chat, bringing that life back, pushing us into those European competitions again. What does that do for his stocks? What does that do for his marketability? What does that do for him personally? You know what I mean? The man who came back and helped turn Arsenal around. So, look, I'm not writing it off, but when we spoke to Fabrizio Romano the other night on our show, and I asked him about this, he said, look, there's an option. Leicester are reluctant. But really, if Madrid give us any indication that we can get Ødegaard, Fabrizio's impression was that Arsenal will go for Ødegaard, as that's probably the easier transfer to complete. So, but I definitely feel like there could be some legs to it. He's got a lot of close friendships in the Arsenal squad too. Him and Bukayo Saka are very close. So it'll be interesting. Be very, very interesting to see. But the rumours tend to be leaning more towards Ødegaard. So
fair enough.
I'm not happy with either.
Look,
who would you take?
Who would you take? Ødegaard or James Maddison? Surely Maddison. Come on. Maddison's a good player.
Ødegaard knows the club. He's been around the club. He has already had some time to teethe into the system, to learn how Arteta wants to play. So I think he would be a quicker fit. But I really like Maddison. The fact that he's English helps with the quotas and means then it opens up more spots for other foreign players. So I would probably take Maddison. I feel like that would be a real statement signing for us. So, yeah, probably Maddison, but definitely not disappointed if we get Ødegaard.
Fair, man, fair. I think it's going to cost a lot of money as well with Maddison. I'm not really sure how much Ødegaard would be. I mean, how much would Ødegaard be? Do you know what the rumoured price is?
I think I saw 35 to 40 million today. But look, Ødegaard's still very young, and I think his ceiling is quite high. I actually think he could have the highest ceiling than Maddison, but I think Maddison at the moment is more ready to take us to the next level.
He's Premier League ready. I mean, we've seen the quality that. I mean, RJ, we don't need to. We saw what he did just before Frank Lampard got sacked. Him and Vardy in that particular match against us. So we know everything about what Maddison's capable of. All right, let's talk a little bit about this particular rumor. Right, Sassuolo CEO Carnevali about Domenico Berardi, Italian. RJ should know everything about this particular player. Unless the rumours, we want to keep Berardi. He's our top player. If we receive an important bid, we will discuss about it and take a decision together with the player. But we're not selling our stars later in August. I mean, RJ, I saw a lot of Italy once things got a bit serious. And I must admit, this guy is a very, very good player. Berardi, I got to admit, I have not watched Sassuolo that much. But from what I saw in Italy, man, obviously all of these Italian players, they had amazing chemistry with each other. I don't know how they did that so quickly, but maybe it's because, someone like Mancini just got the camp together very nicely. But Berardi, from your perspective, firstly, tell me, how do you feel about the player? And then if this ever happens to Leicester, because let's be honest, Leicester could possibly pull this off, man. They probably could. If they thinking about letting go of Maddison maybe to Arsenal, the money they're going to get out of that, and someone like Berardi. What do you think about this particular situation?
Yeah, I think the club, they produce some very good players. It's not just obviously Berardi, but we know a few other good players in their team.
Locatelli.
So we'll see if he wants to join a real club or go to a smaller Premier League club we won't talk about. But in all seriousness, keeping on point. Yeah, well, that's right. Keeping on point, though, Berardi, look, for me, he's a polarizing figure in the sense of he has a lot of things that I like about him, but he's also and the Euros is a good example, he also has some things that are quite frustrating at times in terms of his decision-making at times probably needs to be a little bit sharper. Because what I mean is he'll get himself in good positions, which is obviously good awareness from him. He's got the engine. He's got a lot of stamina. He's very aggressive, and that's why I think he would suit well in the Premier League. But sometimes when it's making the right decision at that crucial moment, shoot, pass, hold up the play, throughout the Euros, he found himself making the suboptimal choice, and that kind of hurt Italy's attack at the time. But overall, domestically speaking,
he's a very good player, very, very good player. I think his market value is around 35 to 40 million euros, so it's not out of this world. He's 26 years old. He's 6 foot, 6'1", whatever it is. So he's got a bit of height. He's quick. And he plays on both the right wing and he can act as a second striker. And as I said, he's someone, and I think he would work well in a team that likes to play with a bit of high energy and a bit of a press, because he's a bit of a pit bull in that sense. He's for his lack of technical skill, I mean, relative to someone like a Chiesa I'm talking about for Italy, he won't let you down in terms of work ethic. And in the Premier League, that needs to be a given. Fundamental attribute, you must work your backside off, and that's something that he does in bucket loads. But he is a good player. I think Leicester, with the way that they know how to mould and grow players into their squad, I think he can definitely help offset the loss of someone like a Maddison. So, totally. Yeah. I wouldn't be blown away if this transfer was to happen, put it that way.
Yeah, man. And Leicester, they're so smart in transfer business, man. They are so smart. And then they sell their players for triple the money. Like, seriously, Harry Maguire. Chilwell wasn't triple, but still they got a decent amount. I'm pretty sure they got close to 50 million pounds out of that. Harry Maguire, we all know, 86-something million pounds out of that. Who else did they sell recently?
They sold Drinkwater for 30
value. Oh, no, don't. RJ, don't. No.
Riyad Mahrez as well.
Riyad Mahrez, Drinkwater, we're going to stop there. But I must admit, he played fairly well the other day. I gotta say, he played well. Tony Tone,
talk about him. We talked about Willian before. Why don't we unpack Danny Drinkwater, boys?
No. We're not going to talk about that. We're happy to talk about Willian, Scott. But with all due respect, he did play well the other day, and I tweeted that I wouldn't mind seeing a bit more of Danny Drinkwater in the preseason. I wouldn't mind seeing him against you guys, against Arsenal next up. In fact, we need to talk about that game because that is just around the corner. That's something to talk about right at the end. Tony Tone, thank you so much for this super chat, my man. City's trying to get rid of Bernardo Silva. Arsenal should be all over this. I'll throw it to Scott, my man. What do you think?
Love this, Tony Tone. Again, hoping that Arteta's connections to Man City can reap some kind of reward if they start letting some players go. Because I actually feel like we have a little bit of money to spend this time round. It's just where we spend it. So good shout. I'd definitely be very happy with him.
Yeah, man. I mean, as I said, there could be some bargains because if they land Kane and Grealish, they're going to be looking to offload their players pronto. And that's when things start becoming a bit of a bargain situation. Phantom of many topics, my man. It's been a while since I've seen you. Thank you so much for joining, my man. What is the source of Haaland deadline? Can't find it. Check out the clip of Jan Age Foytoft in ESPN. In fact, I still got the tweet here, so give me 1 second. Just quickly for the people that haven't seen the Haaland update, I'll just bring this up literally just for a couple of minutes and then we'll move on to the next particular topic. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Jan Age Foytoft on ESPN saying, I expect Erling Haaland future to be sorted in the next 7 to 10 days. A madman, as Dortmund's advisor says, needs to put up 175 million for him. Team Haaland will not push for a move, but think he will be perfect for Chelsea this summer. So lots of subliminal messages there. From Jan Age Foytoft. Okay, let's now, before we go talk about the next few players and then obviously talk about that Arsenal game that's coming up, which will be very interesting because we've got Scott here, we might as well do that. We've got over 280. At one point I saw there was at least 300 of you guys live. Please smash the like button. Let's get the likes up to over 200 if you're enjoying this conversation, enjoying this new show that's going to start officially in about a week and a bit's time. But as you can see, the logo is there. You guys would have seen the intro video, which we'll play again right at the end. So there's a lot of madness happening. And as I said, the show's going to have players coming in. It's going to have many different, personalities all over YouTube, all over football Twitter, any other social media places as well. So it's going to be fantastic. And it's going to talk about everything football, not just Premier League, but other areas as well. Today, obviously, we're focusing on the big transfer stories in Premier League, but the show will talk about literally anything that's huge on that particular week. So smash that like button. And if you're here for the first time, subscribe. We're on the way to 7,000 subscribers now. So let's get that going. And check my boys, their socials in the description, especially their channel. It's a football thing. The link is right there, ladies and gentlemen, 273. Literally just hit the link, subscribe, and the boys let the boys take care of it from there on. You just need to basically present yourself and watch your streams from there on. Okay. I want to go back into talking about a few more players in this transfer window. Tottenham are still in talks with Atalanta for Christian Romero, but it stands by moment as they're not paying 55 million price tag is the priority, but Spurs are prepared to offer 40 to 45 million euros. There's no bid for Barca for Romero as of today. Personal terms agreed with Spurs. Scott, I'll go to you this time first up. I saw a little bit of Christian Romero in Copa America for Argentina, and I was very impressed by this particular defender. I think as a young defender alongside Otamendi, I really thought Otamendi at that particular age, I mean, how's he going to cope? But Christian Romero has a bit about him. He's got that edge, that South American edge, man, and, is comfortable on the ball, but defensively very, very, up front, like he doesn't get fazed by a particular challenge. How much do you know about this particular player? If you've seen much, and what do you think about this transfer to Spurs?
I'm not going to pretend that I know a lot about him outside of what I saw in the Copa, but what I saw was that he's really physical, like you said. He's not scared to make a challenge, and I think he's someone that would strengthen them. They've lost a little bit of experience at the back in recent times. So I think someone like that coming in who's raw, it's just about partnering him up with the right person so he can continue developing. But yeah, look, would be a good signing for them. But the price tag is the big thing. That seems to be the theme. A lot of clubs that are setting a price and are not budging. So how badly Atalanta need the money is going to be the big thing, I think.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, RJ, your thoughts on Christian Romero? Have seen much? I mean, you follow Serie A, so you've probably seen a little bit of this particular player. What's your thoughts on this particular transfer for Spurs?
Yeah, a little bit. I think it's an improvement for Spurs because I don't think they have the best of defences, and playing in a league that's as tactical and strategic and is on the rise, I'd say, despite my bias, obviously, towards them. But I think he does very well at Atalanta and before that at Genoa. So, he's a tall lad. He's, 1.85. He's got a few goals and assists to his game as well, outside of being a traditional physical centre-back. And that's the key word that I want to hone in on, is that he's physical, he's athletic. He's got a Premier League profile written all over him. So, yeah, good business for Tottenham if they can get him, I'd say.
Yeah, look, as I said, I like that particular defender. So if Spurs can pull that off, I think, now with Alderweireld gone as well, so they're looking for a particular defender. They want to get rid of Davison Sanchez as well. There's some news coming out saying Martin is gone. Ladies and gentlemen, can you tell me where you're seeing that? Is that from the Chelsea website? Chelsea website. Okay, let's go to Chelsea website. Interesting. Look, Azpilicueta is back. Wow, that's fantastic. Good to see the captain back. Why can't I see? Where's the news for it?
It's on the Fifth Stand app. They sent
it's on the Fifth Stand
that way. Yeah.
All right. Let's talk quickly about that. I mean, I'll ask you, RJ, first up. Maybe let me give my opinion on it. I felt under Frank Lampard when Martin got that first opportunity. I remember it was an FA Cup game against Grimsby, maybe. He came on in the second half. I thought he looked really well. Like I thought as a youngster, he showed a lot of pace, good control as well of the ball. And I thought maybe he could stick around and be a backup, but he's becoming another one of those ones, RJ, where just slowly disappearing in that loan system. And before you know it, we may not even see this guy ever again. So I think he was on a loan last season. Can't remember which particular club, but since we don't know, that just tells you that probably didn't impress. He's now going to Coventry. Don't even know whether it's a championship team. Are they a championship team or are they? Yeah, they're a championship team. I hope it does well, man. That particular spot is a bit of a question mark for us still, because obviously Chilwell owns the left-sided area, but there is an opportunity for a backup to come in, and Alonso and Emerson are looking to get out of the club. So there is an opportunity for that particular spot for someone to take in. I mean, RJ, could Maatsen do what we kind of expect him to do, I suppose?
Well, I think at the moment, as it stands, he's a young boy. He's not going to crack into the first team at this stage, given that we are stacked in that position. We've got Chilwell, Emerson, Alonso, as it stands at the moment. So for me, I'm a very big believer in, at that tender age, experience minutes is key. It's one thing to train with great players and learn from a very sharp manager, but there's no experience like match experience. And going out there in a very competitive championship, I would say will only do him the world of good, and like many good players. So this is another sub point. Chelsea's academy has very high standards. They produce a lot of talent. Not all of that talent can feasibly fit into the first team, but the model works in the sense of put them through these loan systems, let them get diversity of experience either at the championship, abroad, even in a Premier League club. And if they live up to the potential and beyond, they will force their way into the first team consideration. So at this stage, a loan move only made sense to me, despite Tuchel, I know, giving opportunities to others around. So, yeah.
Yeah, man. This is why I like the live chat so much. They are so on the ball all the time. Jordan, thank you so much for letting us know it's on Coventry Twitter, and you've just also let us know that it's on Chelsea Twitter as well. There you go, ladies and gentlemen, straight from Coventry. We're delighted to confirm the signing of Chelsea defender Ian Martin on a season-long loan. Good luck to Ian Martin, as Jordan's saying as well. Honestly, I hope he goes out and does well. I want to see what Chelsea actually tweeted out as well. It'll be interesting to see. Because, yeah, obviously Coventry looks really, really nice the way they've done it. Here we go. Good luck, Ian. Nice picture. Yeah, of course. Good luck to Ian Martin. All right, let's talk about last couple of players before we talk about the Arsenal game. And ladies and gentlemen, after this particular show, do hang around. There is going to be a premiere right after this particular one, which I've got lined up. The video is ready to go. It's a bit of a snippet from All You Can Eat Chelsea, which happened yesterday or early morning for me. And it was a snippet about Callum Hudson-Odoi playing as a right wing back. A lot of people are arming and ahhing and saying, "Oh, I don't want to, see Callum play that." We've got a bit of a, the conversation was really good. So I've got a clip which is going to be premiering. So do stick around for that. Literally, it just goes from this stream to that premiere. So hopefully 252 of you guys, now 260, can go and watch that as well right after this. That's scheduled for, what's the time now in UK? 2:20. Yeah, 2:12. So 2:30 p.m. That's scheduled for. All right, a couple of more players to talk about. Scott, Lautaro Martinez. I don't know whether this rumor is solid or not. I can't really see much where that was coming from. I mean, what do you got to say about that, man?
No, I think there's nothing to this one, to be completely honest. It's one of those rumors that you see and you just automatically think, what's the agent up to? Or which Twitter in the know has put it out. I don't see this happening. I don't think he's someone that we'd be after. Very quality player. I'm not saying I wouldn't like to have him, but I just don't see him coming to Arsenal. I read something earlier today of him saying he didn't want to come play in the Premier League anyway. So, I think it came up around the Hector Bellerin transfer and us trying to maybe get a player or give some cash as well. So, yeah, I don't see much to this, but very quality player. He'd be a welcome addition.
I mean, Lautaro Martinez is a fantastic talent, but yeah, there you go. RJ's an Inter Milan fan, but RJ, just quickly on that, I know Scott said that Arsenal is definitely still a club that is, they're one of the top clubs still. Let's not kid around that. They in terms of making money and whatnot, they definitely are one of the top clubs. But obviously, they're not in Europe. Is someone like Lautaro Martinez, would he think about a move like that? It doesn't make sense to me. Obviously, Inter Milan being the Serie A champions, they're going to be in the Champions League. I mean, does this rumor make sense at all to you?
It makes sense from the perspective of whether or not the Premier League is attractive for someone now like a Martinez, because, he's entering peak years. He's won the Serie A now, so he might be in the mindset of how much more can I go with this club apart from going all the way with the Champions League. And obviously, given Inter Milan's financial situation, where we've been rumoured to try to offload more players to offset the financial hardships. So he might be of the view of trying to get off now before it's too late and they sink into mediocrity. Even though Arsenal at the moment aren't where they think they should be, I think the fact of moving to a Premier League, going to London, it's a prestigious place, and going into a club like Arsenal, who, again, might not be where they want to be, but they do have that history, they do have that presence, global presence. He might be attracted to be part of a project or a rebuild and want to get in on that now. So, look, I don't know if he does really want to, but I can definitely make a case for it. So it'll be interesting to see. And depends how much they're willing to pay, because, it all comes down to the money. He's a top player.
And
this is good news as well.
Yeah. Let's have a quick look at another. Chelsea news is just dropping left, right, and centre. There's just so many players that many other clubs are so interested about. This is another one, ladies and gentlemen, from Adam Newson, who's doing a bit of a madness lately. Shout out to Adam Newson, guys. Go and follow him. I mean, he's an up-and-coming journalist that is taking it up by storm at the moment. He's one of the... I've actually had him on this particular channel twice. I might even bring him on again very, very soon. The comment he's made over here: understand Conor Gallagher's loan move from Chelsea to Crystal Palace is all done. Official confirmation should be later today. I think this is a decent move, to be honest. I think recently I read an article from Adam Newson as well saying that Conor had a humble one-on-one conversation with Thomas Tuchel, and Thomas Tuchel pretty much said that, look, I do like you as a player, you're a good player, but I can't promise you any minutes because we're pretty stacked in that particular midfield. We're still looking for a midfielder as well. Connor's done the right thing. There was Leeds, there was Palace. I think there was a couple other clubs as well. He's taken Palace. Palace is, under Patrick Vieira. I want to quickly hear from both of you guys. I mean, Scott, Patrick Vieira, obviously Arsenal legend, going to Palace, getting Mark Guéhi, got a whole heap of other youngsters as well under his belt. Pretty much let go of 8 or 9 starting players from last season. They're all gone. Patrick and Van Aanholt, we literally saw today pictures with Galatasaray. Now they're getting Conor Gallagher. I mean, thoughts on Palace? Scott, is a particular team you're going to be looking forward to watch a little bit of?
Absolutely. I'm going to be keeping an eye on them because obviously Vieira is one of our legends. For me personally, he's one of my favourite players. I used to love his combativeness and his fight and fire. And I think he just wants to bring in some young, fresh players who are going to buy into what he's trying to build. So he seems to me like a manager who's coming in, not just thinking, I'm going to sign the biggest players I possibly can with some reputations and I'm going to make this happen. I feel like he wants a process, he wants a system, he wants a structure, and he wants all the players to buy in. So I'm really hoping it works out for him. I'd much rather see Aston Villa get relegated.
Yeah,
they become our
you're still holding that Emil Smith Rowe grudge.
So much banter between Arsenal and Villa at the moment. They've talked themselves up to be our biggest rivals.
They are bullying you. That's what they.
Please.
Do you feel Arsenal versus Aston Villa? There's going to be some heat.
Yeah, look, it's going to be heated on Twitter because they came out firing because they got Buendia. So they're a bigger club than us apparently. So good luck to them. Good luck to Buendia. I'll keep Emil Smith Rowe. Thanks.
Let's see what happens. It's going to be very interesting. RJ, just quickly, your thoughts on Gallagher moving to Palace. Obviously, Patrick Vieira, we've got Mark Gee, quite a few Chelsea players over there at the moment. Thoughts on first match, Premier League match, East Palace? Are we going to beat them 6-0, or it's going to be a surprise 1-1, or maybe a 1-0 loss?
It'll be like the Chelsea A versus the Chelsea B team at this stage. I'm going to start calling them Chelsea Palace from now on. But no, you know what they are. They've secured a few good signings. They got, obviously, I said, they've got Anderson, Danish centre back.
Oh, yes.
He's a great player.
Yeah.
And obviously now another academy talent. Look, I'm a big fan of Conor Gallagher. I'm not going to say he's going to go waltz into our starting 11, but I get a very similar vibe and honesty and thing like Mason Mount. And I'm not saying they're the same thing, so let's not get it twisted. But I do have that same sort of energy about him. I like the fact that he does play with his heart in his sleeve. He's someone he's very technical and strong in that centre midfield area. He can play a little bit deeper. He likes to go box to box. He's just someone that, he's going to do a job for you. But I think having that heartfelt and honest conversation with Thomas was probably the right thing for all parties, because I actually think if he stuck around, he's probably someone that could impress with a few cup games here and there and come on the 80th minute and help relieve pressure from the Mounts or the Jorginhos of the world. But I think it's best for him, again, continuing this theme of younger player. He is good. Chelsea's midfield is very, very stacked at this stage. And considering they want to go out and buy more, it's best for all parties that he continues his development path at another Premier League club who's on the rise. And I'm quite interested, and I put out a tweet yesterday that Chelsea, Palace and Norwich are the teams that I'll be following closely outside of ourselves. So, good move for all parties, and fingers crossed he has a cracking season.
Yeah, 100%. Palace, definitely Norwich, obviously with Billy Gilmore there. It's going to be very interesting to see how their season goes. I was thinking about talking about Rafa Varane and whatnot, but maybe we'll keep it for another day. I will bring Leas, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you guys know, Leas used to come to this channel. I'll probably set up a show with him, who's a Man United fan, and talk about the whole Varane, Sancho, and how they're feeling from that perspective. So we won't spend too much time on any more transfer news right now. I do want to talk about the Arsenal-Chelsea game. But before we do that, ladies and gentlemen, still 256 live. You guys have been constant. You literally have been. You've not left. So let's smash the like button and get the likes over 200 straight away, guys. As you can see, Brent Smith saying smash the likes, folks. And if you're here for the first time, subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. It's very, very important. Let's get the subscriptions up, and we're on the way to 7,000 subscribers. And my boys, check out their socials in the description. The link for their YouTube channel, It's a Football Thing. Literally, click on the link, go out there, subscribe. 250 of you guys. Let's help the guys out. And the guys make superb content. So whenever their shows are going live, you can just check on them as well. Let's talk about the Arsenal-Chelsea game that's coming up. Go to you first up, RJ. From my perspective, I'm really looking forward to this particular game because some of the boys, the European champions, they're going to be back. Some of the boys that were missing in the last one, obviously it was only a week into it, but perhaps we could possibly see some players get some minutes this particular game, the likes of your Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, maybe Mateo Kovacic. Maybe they may not play this one. Maybe they play the Spurs one. Maybe it's still too early, but perhaps we could see some minutes for them. But nonetheless, I'm still excited to see the Brohas of this particular world. As I said, I want to see a bit of Dujon Sterling. He's looking like a bit of a player. Could be a bit of a backup for us from the right side. Ziyech again, of course. Callum Hudson-Odoi looking like $1 million at the moment, looking really good. Pulisic, I want to see what he does because I don't think he had the best game against Bournemouth. So it'd be very interesting to see what happens from that front. And of course, it's Arsenal. I feel like we need to beat them. They've beaten us twice. And I know it's pre-season, but still keep that momentum up going into the start. Well, Super Cup first up, and then the Premier League starts. So, how are you feeling about this match coming up? What's your I wouldn't say expectation, but what's your vibe, I suppose, for this particular match?
Yeah, so I suppose a couple of quick sentiments for me. First, I'm naturally excited. I always like pre-season because it's getting us. Thank you for this, by the way. For us, I think it's always important to follow closely what's going on in pre-season, just to understand where people are at physically, fitness-wise, and trying to get a bit of an early sense of, does this player look like they are the real deal this season? Do they look a little bit rusty or short of confidence? So even though people like to take the preseason games with a pinch of salt, and I get that to an extent because you're not playing at the same tempo, what I do like to do is focus really closely and try to watch each individual that's given an opportunity, particularly the fringe players that are on the outskirts and are really trying to make a statement, or conversely, those that don't make a statement, they kind of validate why they're on the fringes in the first place. But seeing those regulars come back into the fold, possibly against Arsenal, like you mentioned a few, like even Christensen maybe, or Rudiger even getting some minutes back in their legs, and obviously Edmundo. For me, I think that some of these players will be given a run, possibly more in the second half as a bit of a warm-up, getting closer to that Super Cup, because that's something that I know Tuchel will want add another trophy to.
We have to,
cabinet. We have to, mate.
Yeah.
We're a club that respects success only, as we know. So, look, exciting. I do not see this as the be-all and end-all, but we probably want to generate some positive momentum leading up to that very important Super Cup. So, yeah, very keen to see the squad, not just the squad and like those young players you mentioned, but also the style of play, because I really want to understand, are we going to try to keep that familiarity, or are we going to make a few tweaks while we're in a sort of risk-free environment? So, yeah.
100%. 100%. The other player that we haven't mentioned is Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I want to see exactly how he performs, continues on in this particular preseason. Going to be very, very interesting. Scott, from an Arsenal point of view, I believe you guys won your last preseason game. You guys beat...
Yeah, we won our last two. We beat Watford 4-1 and we beat Millwall 4-1.
Yeah,
before
Watford,
that, 2-2 against Rangers. So, not the worst result when you consider Rangers beat Madrid, but yeah, I'm happy with how the preseason's going. Obviously, I'd love some signings to be announced because we really need improving. But I'm looking forward to this friendly. I really like the concept, even behind the friendly itself, of the Mind series, where the clubs, all the money is being given to club charities and to mental health charities. So big ups to all the clubs involved, because that is a great thing to see the clubs do, to put that money to a really good cause, people's mental health. So I'm expecting a lot of rotation. We will be playing a good combination of first teamers and youth. We haven't loaned out all of our youth just yet. We've kept a few of them, so I think you'll see a good combination there. A couple of people to keep an eye on. New boy Nuno Tavares, attacking left back. He's come in, scored a nice goal. He's looked really good going forward, so he's someone who I expect to play. Will be interesting to see him. I'm not saying he's someone who will replace Kieran Tierney, because for me, Kieran Tierney is one of the best left backs in the Premier League.
He's probably your best player, I'd probably say.
Him or Saka for me, but I think he's top 3 left back in the league. So
probably,
I don't see Tavares taking his spot, but I'm glad that we've got backup. He doesn't have the best injury record, so I think he's one to watch. Another youngster, Miguel Aziz, scored a banger in his last game. He's someone on the peripheries of the first team, so it will be interesting to see if he gets any time as well. I'm looking forward to watching the game, boys. We won't put any bets on this one. It is pre-season, but when Chelsea and Arsenal play in the league, Down Under Football Crew need to do something special.
We will. We'll probably have a special show for that. We need to do that. By the way, Smith Rowe, he should be featuring as well, right?
Yeah, look, I'd expect him to play some minutes in there. He signed a new contract. He'll be a regular starter for us and an important player. So Brent's bang on the money.
Brilliant. All right, ladies and gentlemen, look, we've talked about so many things today. We've gone for an hour and 23 minutes. It's probably the longest we've done a particular stream. Generally, we stream for about an hour, but there was just so many things to talk about, the announcements, this and that and whatnot. First of all, 254 people Let's get the likes up. Let's get the likes up to over 200. I can't stress enough how much the likes helps the channel, the growth of it, the video to be exposed to more fans out there. You guys have been hanging around all this time, so clearly you're enjoying it. You're here on a daily basis. I can see you in the live chat. You love it. So smash the like button and get it off the roof, over 200. And also, if you're here for the first time and you've been coming along all the time previously, you haven't subscribed, subscribe. You're enjoying it. So just, submit to it. Just subscribe to it. Check out my boys and their channels on the description right now. It's a football thing. I mean, RJ, do you want to just drop the link?
Sure.
The link's in the description anyway, guys.
Yeah.
So literally, you can just click on the description.
I think we dropped them in the chat. Exactly.
Yeah. So you guys can see it there. Check out especially their show with Fabrizio literally a few days ago, which was a bit of a madness. So check that show out, guys. That'll be very, very good. And yeah, in literally 5 minutes, stick around, guys. This particular stream will go straight to the premiere, where it's Matisse, myself, and Eunice from All You Can Eat Chelsea. It's a clip from yesterday's show on Matisse's channel where we talked about Callum Hudson-Odoi playing in the right wing-back spot. I just thought that it was a very interesting point, and I've taken the clip and posted it on my channel as a separate sort of snippet from All You Can Eat Chelsea. I've even got the link of that particular video. And if you want to see the full video, obviously go to Matisse's channel for the full video. It will all be there. So do check that out. As I said, literally 4 minutes to go. RJ's just dropped a message saying one more time. Guys, since you guys are here, probably more new people are coming in. One last time we want to play our intro video. The next time us three we see you guys, it will be the official launch of this show. There's other artworks that you haven't seen yet, which will come into play. The intro of the show will start with the intro we're just going to show right now. And we will have a special guest. And it's a player. That's all we're going to say. It's a player. So it's going to be mad. You guys are going to absolutely love it. That's all I'm going to say. And just stick around, over the next few days for announcement as to what day and whatnot. We'll do the promos so you guys will all know. So now, here we go. We're going to play the intro one more time for you guys. Let us know what your thoughts are. And then after that, as I said, 226 of you guys, stick around because the next show will be very, very soon. So here's the intro, ladies and gentlemen. All right, yeah, I can't, man. That intro is boss. Honestly, it's absolutely boss. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gonna wrap things up. I'm just gonna drop the link for the premiere that's coming up on my channel once more. There's a link. I'll just quickly pin it as well. Do get yourself down to that particular premiere. I'll see you guys there. It's a short video for about 11 minutes, but you guys will really, really enjoy that. 227 of you guys, let's get down there and let's smash the like button over there as well straight away. So yeah, until next time, guys, it will be the launch. We will see you very, very soon. See ya.